Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today's going to be a counterpart check-in, both sides. And first off, I'm just going to do a bit of an intimacy check-in and see what is the current level of intimacy the masculines are conscious of regarding the feminines. Knight of Roses and Five of Roses. This is typically the card of separation. In the inverse, they're wanting to come in from out of the cold and show up. There is a foundation that they're wanting to offer here. Safety, security, a fail-safe, something that's not going to throw this into isolation again is what I just heard. So let's look at, okay, Five of Roses. Spend your energy in the right places. Enjoy a slow but steady recovery. Yeah, so the masculines are making a comeback here. Knight of Roses. Punctual, methodical, and with great stamina, the Knight of Roses, with the Knight of Roses, things will run like clockwork. This knight likes to get down to business. A plan of action may even have been made in advance. As an objective-driven individual, they can become overly focused on reaching the climax, foregoing the wild adventure of getting there. They may need a gentle prod to tune into their emotions and inject a little more passion into their action. So if your counterpart is, seeming to be in a little bit too much of a methodical energy, not enough kind of fun or emotion involved, if they're not really experiencing their emotions at this time, just know it's because they don't want to make a wrong step and they're trying to keep it very harmonious without getting their emotions ahead of themselves or without triggering you, divine feminines. They want this slow and steady recovery right now. So yeah, they're wanting sure-footed progress. What can we see for the feminines? Where are the feminines at regarding intimacy with their counterparts at this time? For the feminines, we're getting Seven of Feathers. Okay, I think this is that getaway card, like wanting to get away from it all and escape together. But let's see. Seven of Feathers. Oh, in the inverse, it's a laziness and hurtful secrets. Huh. Interesting. So, feminines are in an energy of skepticism. I'm going to actually get a clarifier on what each counterpart would say to the other about these energies. So let's just first off see what the feminines would say about hurtful secrets. I think we should slow down and have I lost everything? Okay, so I'm getting that the feminines, okay, you're my everything. So masculines, you're feminine. It's not that they have a secret that they don't love you or don't want to be with you. I think what I'm picking up on here is that they're afraid that there's something you're not telling them because you're being emotionless right now, or pulling emotions back or trying to. They might feel like you've got some kind of an agenda, that there's something you're not telling them. It's like they can't quite put their finger on what the frequency is at this time, and they don't want a negative surprise. So I'm going to get some advice for the feminines. What are the feminines meant to do with this feeling of uneasiness? It's because they find you so important to them, masculines. Purity. So purify your own thoughts. This is a card of separation, feminines, the ice here. So it is about what you're thinking within. And, your emotions are following suit with whatever you're feeding them. So feed them beautiful things. Focus on this high frequency, that this love is your preference. And just know that you're protected, that everything that needs to come to light will come to light if it's applicable. And you won't be taken advantage of in any way, in any inappropriate way, feminines. Okay, what would the masculines like to say to the feminines about this cautious recovery coming in? If I follow you, I could lose everything. So there's no going back, I just heard. So masculines are getting ready to go all in. They're starting off small, but they do intend on fully making the change towards these connections is what I'm seeing. But they're nervous because they know that once they take these steps, there's no going back, feminine. So that's why it feels different. and we get fluidity, outer core. So the advice, masculines, is keep following your internal guidance and trusting the process. Yeah, there's transparency coming in to the connection. So there are things I'm getting in your outer periphery that you're giving too much of your importance to. Things that are outside of this core connection, the inner core. And so whatever the chatter in the background, the devil energies, the mind space that's contradicting your heart, that's whispering that going towards love is not safe, just really keep coming into center, coming into your inner knowing, your core truth, and letting go of that outer, the illusion that outer atmosphere has more power over you than what your heart says, masculines. Okay, let's get into the daily reading. So let's look at all the different chakra levels, actually. Let's do that Spine of Fire card pull and see. Thank you, Divine Creator. What is affecting all of the chakra levels of the counterparts right now? Where is the alignment on all those levels? What can we see about each of the chakras? What are the energetic cards that go along with each? Where are the masculines at regarding these energies? And where are the feminines at regarding the energies? What can we see from the masculine and feminine perspectives? 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are just going to be, it's going to be really quick, no clarifications. I'm just going to do channeled messages based on what I see. Okay, crown chakra. We are getting kindness, presence, and seal of Venus. Elemental magic, self-love, and protection. Okay, if you love yourselves, people, twins, soulmates, counterparts out there, if you love yourself, if you genuinely do what is best for you, that means you're not giving your power away. You're not letting your decisions be made by hypothetical external circumstances. You're not doing things to please others. If you're doing what is truly best for you, and you're taking care of making sure your motivations are pure and founded, then you can't go wrong. And this is something with the crown chakra that we're meant to be running through our connection to source for validation. This isn't guesswork. This is when you're in alignment, when you are focused on that higher awareness and present with it in the moment. This is where that kind of clarity and assurance comes in. How are the masculines working with this energy? Yeah, they are really seeing the higher love, the purity there as well, this cosmic level. They are very transparent to it right now. They are downloading it very clearly at this time. They are also seeing the affinity between the feminine and masculine. They're seeing how the two of you are in unison. There's something about being on the same page, and there is some consciousness illuminating to the masculines right now about how to take these steps forward that are sure-footed and deliberate. How are the feminines? Okay, there is, the feminines are working on making sure that heartache isn't running the show, that they are making their decisions based in clarity, balance, not through the lens of old heartache or what could go wrong or what doesn't feel right. There is a awareness the feminines are having that they need to make sure that they're not filtering what they're picking up on through skepticism or fear. But that can be counterintuitive. That can mean that the feminines are being asked to not only release these energies regarding their counterpart, but to remove these energies from decision making so they can be more factual, more grounded in reality, more understanding of set and setting, or circumstances, or legal matters, or cause and effect. There's something in the material realm that the feminines are learning to navigate without letting fear, overcompensating, or cutting corners, or being short-sighted run the show. There's a protection coming in, a wisdom coming in that's backing everybody in the moment. What can we see for the third eye chakra? Oh, the devil. And duality, contrast, trust, and balance. So this is really interesting because devil's in the details. I know for a lot of the divine feminines that I've been working with privately in sessions the last couple of days, it's really like I keep hearing everybody saying, I'm interpreting my situation with my masculine through this lens and this lens. Which is it? Is it this way or this way? Which one of those things should I consider being superior to the other? Really, it's the dualistic thinking that is in the devil in the details right now. If you can step one step beyond it and see holistically and not be swayed by this one or that, but to step back so that each of those things take on a holistic spectrum, then you'll be able to safely navigate without being swayed one way or the other, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're just paying attention to a limited thinking, this or that. If you step one step further out and see the pluses and minuses of each dualistic pair, then you're in a different spectrum of consideration, and you're not damned if you do, damned if you don't anymore. You've got the full set of understanding so that you can have a confident decision in whatever you're intuitively trying to solve at this time. What is the masculine polarity looking at? Okay, friendship. How to keep a flow of emotion despite the dualistic tug of war right now. How are the feminines expressing this? Well, they're hoping for success with the masculine. They're hoping to be on the same page, to not have a cycle repeat where there's another missed opportunity. So instead of seeing it as a missed opportunity, feminines, this is about getting one step back and seeing that possibly you've learned, possibly energy is trying to balance here. And if you're just focused on what appears to be happening now, you're missing the broad spectrum where you step back and see, oh yes, I've experienced this in the past, and this is the flip side of what I've already experienced in the past. So now I'm living a non-linear experience of a more complete vision of what could happen in this particular theme that I'm finding myself learning about right now. Yeah, so for the masculines, I'm getting that they are really learning how to balance their emotions out when they think something could be one way or the other. I'm getting specifically with what might be read as mixed signals for the masculines, whether the feminines are into them or not right now, in a platonic or romantic way. So masculines, your feminine's always into you completely in all of it. They are your best friend. They are your best lover. Your feminine is perfectly made for you. So it's a spectrum. And feminines, you haven't missed opportunities or gained opportunities. The whole thing is an opportunity to experience how the masculines and feminines navigate different things. So we get all up in the devil energies when we forget that it's not either or. It's the whole thing that we're experiencing whenever we find a dualistic pair. That's the range we're navigating. That can be more useful than just getting stuck in the this or that aspect of it. Okay, communication. Ooh, telepathic communication grounding into the physical. Freedom, sensitivity, beauty, and sensuality. So there is an energetic backing to a more sensual, tactile coming into the physical here. So communication is bringing these connections from the energetic sharing into the physical, from what I can see here. There's more of a freedom to do so. This could be at night. I see that messages are going to lead the way to a meetup. For most, it's going to be in the evening or at night. How are the masculines viewing this? They're not feeling quite ready. They're feeling held back a little bit. So masculines, this can mean that you're too afraid of what could go wrong and forgetting to just know your truth going into these things, that you've been growing these wings and they're fully formed and you are this splendorous butterfly. You just haven't seen yourself that way yet. So you've been preparing, but you've got some outdated self-assessments and outdated ways of thinking of things that are looming, that you can, prepare to let go of. These aren't truths anymore. You are this butterfly. You're not a helpless caterpillar. You're not going to fall and be pierced. You're going to fly in this scenario. You've got what it takes, masculines, but there's a past assessment of self that's still being released. It's not quite time yet. You will feel it when it's time. It will feel more free. We got the freedom card here. So masculines, if you're still feeling a little bit like this, have some energetic exchange. Really tune into that hypothetical or telepathic layer and pose some of the concerns that you have and feel into what love would say about those things. What are the feminines experiencing? Yeah, there is a movement out of separation. There's a movement towards each other, out of the 5D and moving towards the 3D, into the material realm. What can we see for the heart space? High Priestess and bioluminescence, cellular light, self-illumination, simplicity. This is the be still and know. Everybody needs to bring it back to the simple truth of self, their own awareness. No more guesswork about what the other, I just saw 1717, what the other thinks or feels. Trust the love is there, and everybody pay attention to what you feel. How are the masculines experiencing this on the heart space? Yeah, they know that their next steps, this next powerful motion into the world, is connected to their divine feminine, that this is an empowerment, an inspired cycle that's about to come in. They don't have any of the answers. It's maybe a little daunting. Maybe they haven't seen themselves this brave or creative or revolutionary before, but there's something about to spark. So just keep trusting your own inner knowing that even if this is uncharted territory, masculines, if following your intuition this way is a little bit different than you've done in the past, it's time to really just forgive yourself, love yourself, allow a compassionate permission in you to keep going forward, because it's going to be better than you think. Is what I just heard. And feminines, this is an inner bravery as well. So both are being asked to really just allow this mercy, humility, compassion of self and other to support this new beginning, brand new beginning. This is even, it's a 4, but this is a very early on in the deck kind of card here, where we're just looking at the essence, where we're looking at pure, deep, intimate connection and being curious what can grow. We don't have the answers. There's just this motion from being apart towards seeing what is here. There's a clean slate kind of energy I'm feeling here. What can we see for the solar plexus chakra? Okay, disempowerment, heartache, storage, time release, and focused force. So we are coming down to divine timing, and this is where we get to talk about the 3 swords. These are the misconceptions of societal predictive programming, the heartache from past relationships and things in this relationship, and the views that we hold about ourselves. And these are the things that we can be transparent with, that we can release. It's becoming time to empower ourselves and to empower these connections by being transparent about the things that have been keeping us, just airing that dirty laundry I'm hearing. And it's not about, you know, each other, and it doesn't have to be apologies. It doesn't have to be excuses. It can sound like that. It's just going to be expressing the things that have wedged and kept us apart from love. This is set to start being expressed between the two. It needs to move on. This block needs to be seen for what it is. Masculines are going to be talking specifically why they've been balking at commitment and why they haven't been more eager to come in with full commitment in these situations, or what scares them about commitment in general. What are the feminines? There's that high priestess. The feminines are going to talk about how these misconceptions and heartaches cause them to question themselves and their knowing, and how sometimes they waver. And so it's a very similar communication, but it's time to start talking about the histories that have caused each to be showing up or not in certain ways. What is the sacral chakra? Queen of Wands, my divine feminine card in the inverse, and transcendence, prayerfulness, and serenity. So that's the serenity prayer. So this is the flow, and in the inverse there's a blockage of the full flow. So it's like the counterparts are being brought together to see whose is whose, which portion of the energy to really, it's not a blame game, it's not victim, it's not projecting, but it's learning each other for understanding, admitting where we know that we sabotage or have a tendency to do certain things in certain ways. And there's wisdom in them, but there are also misguiding aspects to them. So it feels as though there's going to be an opportunity for each to see why certain behaviors and attempts at communicating or navigating are the way that each person does things. For the masculines, unconditional love. That's beautiful. So no matter how awkward or smooth it goes, the masculines are ready to understand so that they can love anyways. And the feminines are willing to step out of the comfort zone and really allow what comes up to be a grander cosmic understanding so that they're not going to be triggered by it. So it does feel like each has a little bit of a curiosity as to if the other one understands how they come across sometimes and how they navigate stressful situations, because each can really observe the other. So this is where we can see some progress coming in. What is and this has been a block to intimacy as well, because the intimate connection doesn't flow in these unions if there are misconceptions between the two on other levels. What is the root chakra? Sovereignty, wholeness, and peace, healing, gentleness, non-judgment. So once the air is cleared, once the information is gathered, there's a really peaceful, healed, gentle acceptance coming in for each. How are the masculines experiencing? They're surrendering to this love. They're going to understand that the feminine doesn't do certain things on purpose and that they don't need to take certain things personally. Likewise, some of the ways that they have been sabotaging, the feminine isn't judging them for it. So the masculines are being put at ease. And the feminines, the wait is over. There's like some progress immediately, where there's a deep exhale, an ability just to relax and allow the connections to take root a little bit more deeply. Okay, I'm going to get one message from the masculines to the feminines. 5 of Swords. I was blind, but now I'm starting to see. I'm actually really curious as to who you are, what you like and dislike, what makes you tick. I'm fascinated. You're not like anybody that I've ever met. And I know you love, and so I want to understand. I want to see the magic of your ways from your perspective. What about from the feminines to the masculines? Queen of Wands. I don't always feel like I have it figured out. And sometimes I feel like you're looking to me as somebody that has it all or has the upper hand. The way you try and call the shots or put the brakes on or not. I'm not perfect. I'm trying and I love you. But I value your input, and there's nothing I would like better than to team up and to keep learning who you are and to keep becoming the best version of myself, because I matter so much and you matter so much to me. I love your ways. I love your wisdom. Okay, many blessings. Bye for now.